The Miller North Literary Magazine has lain dormant for almost 10 years. What is a literary magazine and why is it back? We went to the club's staff sponsor, Whitney Hansen, as well as multiple students involved to find out more.
The Muse is a publication of students' writing and art across all different genres and mediums. It's also selected for publication by an editing staff of students.
Now we know what it is, but why did they decide to bring it back? Here's two students involved in the Muse's return.
Basically, I was in creative writing, and my teacher said something about if we had a literary magazine, you should submit this piece to it. And I was like, oh, well, I wanted to start one. And so we kind of just went from there, and I just kept nagging her about it every day.
Well, AJ mentioned it to me at an event we were at, and it just kind of went from there. AJ and I kind of took initiative, kind of pushed it forward. And then here we are.
It was actually because students were literally asking for it. It's an amazing thing for any school to have, honestly. It's like a little time capsule of the things that kids cared about at the time, but also I had a student approach me asking if we've ever thought about starting one, and I said, it's funny you ask, we had one 10 years ago, and so we talked about bringing it back, and I started going through that whole process, with them, as they would say, nagging me through the whole thing to make sure it could actually come to fruition.
Despite the 10-year hiatus, the magazine has been working hard on advertising for submissions both in person and online.
So right now, since we haven't, published anything in the last 10 years, we haven't published any student work yet, but we have an Instagram where we're starting to get more active and post our calls for submissions. Those are open from now until the end of February.
Pretty much, so far we've just been designing our social media pages, but now we're starting to get submissions from other students in the school, and we pretty much just go over those submissions as a group.
There are posters everywhere with QR codes on them. If you see a poster with QR code that says submission guidelines and submission form, then that's probably ours, and it says Miller North Muse on it.
For artists who would like to submit, here's what the staff have to say.
Our submissions are open until the end of February. The theme is New Beginnings, and we accept fiction, nonfiction, poetry, comics, music, short films, and all kinds of art. And really, if you have anything else that falls under the theme of New Beginnings, I'm sure we want that too.
And I think you'd be surprised what fits into that category, so don't limit yourself to sunrises and moving to a new place. I think there's a lot you can do with it.
This has been Salman Muse and Lucy Joyce with the Miller North Blue View.